Analyze the cooler. Did something happen while you were analyzing before you started your analysis of the cooler? Did somebody come in and do something in front of you?
Kevin McMahon, who was a serologist at the laboratory at the time, performed a serology examination on the cooler.
Okay. And this cooler, right now is pretty dirty, right?
Yes.
And it's dirty because of the tools that you use to look for ridge detail, right?
Yes, I believe that's a portion of the residue that's left on that is from my processing.
Okay. So the reason that you would want somebody like Kevin McMahon to come in and do serology is that you might actually be changing the condition of the cooler.
Yes, there's the potential that any processing I do could dilute or remove biological evidence that's present on an exhibit. So in the laboratory in general, and specifically for this case, serology would be conducted prior to latent print processing.
And the reason, and again, you do this so that if there's evidence on this cooler, it can be found, whether
Yes.
serology or fingerprint.
Yes.
The other is that you talked about different surfaces being good for fingerprints.
Yes.
Is this cooler? And I can bring it to you. I can put a glove on and bring it to you if you'd like.
That's okay.
Okay. Is this cooler good for that sort of finding rich detail and stuff?
The exterior of the cooler is textured, which is not the best type of substrate or surface to retain fingerprint detail. Like I said before, smooth surfaces are usually what's best.
Okay. So I can go and I can touch this cooler at the top and you may not be able to find my ridge detail.
That's correct.
Okay. How about the handle? So, same thing? It's metalish.
There may be a potential to find friction ridge detail on something like that handle. It's smooth, but it being a handle gets handled a lot, which could potentially wipe off any friction ridge detail that was deposited prior.
Everybody does that. It's okay.
And that was going to be my next question. An object that is touched a lot might remove, smear, or change any ridge detail below it, right?
Yes, it may remove it completely.
And so you get an accumulation at some point, and you may not even be able to identify the last person touching.
That's correct.
Okay. The metal ceiling vent and the drywall, did that go through a similar serology analysis before your fingerprint analysis?
Yes, they did.
And that was separate. It wasn't actually in your portion of the lab, right?
Right, that's correct.
Okay. And there's another item that you tested. Do you recall?
There was a small pink child's cup. I believe the agency item number was BEO 25.
Okay. And nothing there?
No friction ridge detail was documented or developed on that.
Okay. And was that a good surface to find fingerprints?
My recollection was that the exterior of the cup was fairly textured. There were some flat portions, but much of that cup, I think, was a textured surface.
Okay. So is it fair to say that none of the items that you tested raised a suspicion that they had been wiped or cleaned off?
No, I did not have that suspicion during my testing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Orlowitz, I just want to follow up on that last point. How would you know? How would you be able to see if things were wiped off?
During my processing, if wipe marks or drag marks became visible during the processing, that could potentially cue me off that something had at least been wiped across the surface.
And that wasn't present on the items that you analyzed?
I did not observe that.
with respect to the highly textured surfaces that you mentioned, how would you see those white marks in a highly textured surface like the cup that you mentioned or the cooler there?
It would be very difficult to see if any white marks were present on a textured surface.
Thank you. No additional questions.
But it's fair to say that you saw nothing to raise that suspicion.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you may step down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of our day today. I remind you, don't discuss the case with anybody, not with each other or with anybody else. Don't watch any social media, read any newspapers, look at any online coverage of this case. Avert your eyes. So we'll begin again tomorrow morning. Please be here at 8:45 for a 9 a.m. start. Don't do any independent research. Thank you so much for your significant attention today. Have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All rise for the jurors, please.
Stand up!
Rally had just ended. It was wrapping up. The players were starting to make their way off of the stage, and that's when that gunfire erupted. And David, as you might imagine, when there are thousands of people in a crowd close together and they hear gunfire, immediately there's panic and there's chaos. And there were hundreds of people that we saw running out of the area, trying to get somewhere safe. We understand from the Kansas City Police Department, this is still an active situation. They're trying to figure out what exactly unfolded here. Just a few seconds ago, David, we saw what looked like a SWAT team sort of run into the garage building that is behind Union Station here. So authorities are still working to figure out what exactly happened here. Now, when that gunfire erupted, when the crowd began to rush out of the area, we immediately began to hear sirens. We heard ambulance sirens, we heard police, law enforcement sirens, and those officers, those members of law enforcement began to immediately flood the area. David, we know from the mayor here that there were already 600 police officers deployed to the parade route and to watch the area. They were working with 24 different law enforcement agencies and, of course, their federal partners as well to make sure that this was a safe event.
They have a guy right there in custody in red.
Until the very end.
Is that?
And as we know now, David, as Aaron reported there, at least one dead and 8 to 10 injured here on the scene, David.
One dead,
And
8 to 10
while the crowd
injured.
has dispersed, still a number of police officers remain on the scene trying to assess what's going on, and we even still see some ambulances here on the scene, David.
2 in
Of course,
custody.
we, again, I can't underscore enough that those preliminary details coming in from Kansas City Fire at this point involving the number of people potentially shot here. Alex Perez describing the scene for us. Alex, our thanks to you. We're told at this hour that a White House official telling ABC News they are closely monitoring the shooting, of course, at the end of the Super Bowl parade. Federal law enforcement officials are on the scene to aid local officials there, something that Aaron had told us earlier, and in fact likely in place just because of the size and scope of this event. You can see the pictures there of the crowd. These were the pictures coming in from KNBC, our ABC station, moments after the gunfire. You can see the sheer size of the crowd that had gathered for the Super
And
Bowl
it's so
champs.
creepy
I wanna
with the
bring in,
Beastie Boys.
One last person here
I
before
don't
we turn
like
you over to
that.
your local news here in the East, and then the rest of the country. Of course, we'll have more coming up here on World News Tonight. Pierre Thomas is our Chief Justice Correspondent. Pierre, what are you learning from federal sources at this hour?
Well, I spoke to a key federal source, David, who said there is no information so far coming from the scene suggesting terrorism or some kind of political act that it may.
I can't. Let's find another stream. Like the White House is going to tell us anything. They weren't even going to tell us that the damn balloon was flying over.
Situation is developed not only to stay up to date on the information, but also
Fucking
to offer
chaos,
any
America.
support
We're
that may be needed
chaotic.
to the community that's impacted, but both right now in this moment and as families are dealing with injured loved ones and potentially fatalities as well.
Sam Vinograd is speaking to us from our Washington bureau. We're all watching footage from earlier in Kansas City, Missouri, as police were trying to attend to people that appeared to be injured after shots were fired in a parking garage there. And Sam, we appreciate you kind of pulling back the veil a bit and giving us a sense of how the different law enforcement entities communicate with each other at a moment like this. All of that happening in real time. I also want to bring back in Keith Taylor, because as we don't know if this was connected to terrorism or what the motivation was.
So having had San
Oh,
Francisco
it's the
had
guy
a plan
from
in place
Scott
ready
or
for a
whatever.
parade, and that's federal, state, and local. Those are leaders of these departments.
They've already
They are putting together.
the news cracks me up. They've already got like experts on. It's like, fuck. We didn't even find out what happened yet. Okay, now this is kind of eerie. This is just raw footage. 8 to 10 injured. According to the AP, 8 to 10 injured after shooting near Chiefs Parade. So it may not even, who knows? We don't know what it is yet. Yeah, it's that Scott. Yeah, Scott Duffy. Oh, really? Thank you, 100 people. Oh, you tagged me. I'm sorry. I'm in my own world. See, this is what I have a problem with. I don't know how to get your... I don't know how to see what you tagged me in. I'm so not good at Twitter. Like, I don't know how to see... I don't see it. See, this is why I can't navigate X. You tag me in something. I don't know how to fucking view it. I've never been able to figure this out. Maybe you guys can help me. Oh, there it is. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Thank you.
No, we tackled him. We tackled him. Yeah. When we tackled him, the gun came out. You're good. Who's the other guy? Back up. Hey, I got the gun. Hey, I got the gun. You filming this? Yeah. Who was the other guy that helped me? I don't know. I think he took off already. Joker has it off. The gun is over here. Oh, he's up there.
They tackled him. Wow.
Joker.
So that's him. The cops got him down on the ground right there. But we can't see him.
The gun is over here. Oh, he's up there.
Tackling someone with a gun, balls of steel.
No, we tackled him. We tackled him.
They tackled him.
Yeah. When we tackled him, the gun came out.
I'm trying to get a look at the perp.
Who's the other guy? Back up. Hey,
I saw them walking with a guy that was all dressed in red.
I filming this?
Yeah. You hear that guy? I got the guy.
Yeah. Who was the other guy that helped me?
Ooh, see the guy on the ground? I'm going to screenshot this. Hold on. It's hard to make out. I can't make out much in that picture. They did say 2 in custody. Yeah, I saw it too.
I don't know. I think he took off already.
Ooh, does he have like a hood on or something? I think that he's got a hood on. That looks like a hood. All right, let's keep watching. That was it.
Joke has it all. The gun is over here.
They
Hey, there's our guy. I was standing by these guys to be good for it the whole time. I jumped the fence when it all started happening. This way, when you turn and face him, he'll be looking this way.
There's probably going to be a lot of videos of this because there was a lot of media there already. Oh, here it is. Here's a video. Hang on. Let me mute this. Here's where they actually tackle him. Oh my God. Zoom in. That big guy got him. Shit. I wonder if we can slow the... Oh, we can. We're going to slow it down. You ready? It might sound weird, so let me actually turn it down. Let me turn it all the way down. And we'll watch. It's going to be in slow mode, guys, just so you know. Let me get rid of these screenshots. Let's get all set up here. Oh my God, this is nuts. This is nuts. Bananas. Okay, here we go. This is slow-mo. This must be, okay, let me get my annotate tool. Do you see him? Okay, maybe I don't need it. But look in between those two barriers. You'll see the shooter with the hood on. Do I need to get my annotate and draw to show you? Hold on. I'll change the title as well. People are like, what the heck? What are we doing? What's going on in here? What's going on in here? We're about to watch slow-mo of the shooter. One of the shooters, I guess. There's two. Getting tackled. All right, let's watch. He's running. He's barreling through these people. I don't know if he shot someone then. Oh my God, how terrifying. This big guy who tackled the shit. Look at, he flipped him around. And then the other guy comes back, the guy in the green undies. Those two men are friggin' heroes. Did you see how they took him down? And they did not think twice. And I think the gun went flying. Because I think there's a girl over on the right. When they tackled him, I think his gun went flying. What do you mean the stream's gone? It's not gone. And they held him there. And that girl's saying, go, get away, we got him. But look how crazy. They held him down. Look at the other guy came over. That girl didn't hesitate. Wow, what a bunch of brave folks. Yeah, you know they were 2 cases of beer in, celebrating their win. Cops were right there. They had 600 police officers there. 600. And this is the slowest mode you can have, dude. It was frantic. Look how frantic. And look how long they held him. Why did it take the cops so long to get over there? Because the fence? They just saved so many lives. There he is again. See him running? He runs right into this crowd, guys. And there's barriers. These people can't get away. Look at, some people were just sitting on the edge chilling. And here, look at, he's barreling through. This is the moment right here when they take him down. That is so crazy. So you see him right here, right? This is the shooter right here. You got this guy right here just chilling, has no idea. But these guys, for some reason, they know what's going on. These guys here. And they're waiting. See? They're going towards him. These guys are going towards him. They didn't even run away. They are awesome. They're going to be all over the news interviewed. You want to bet? And look at this guy down here. Check this one out. If we go down, This guy's pointing. What's he pointing? Is he pointing a gun? Is he pointing a gun? Who is he? Well, because we saw the cops take him away. I mean, we didn't see him shoot, but we can only come to a conclusion. One person died. And there's several, 8 or 9 injured. A phone or a gun? 9 injured. Thank you, Potato. It is a phone. You're right. My bad. I don't know. This is absolutely fascinating to me that. See, the cops are up here. Okay, look at. See, the cops are up above. They had to come around. They couldn't get down there. See, the cops are walking up here. And this dude's down here, running through this crowd this way. And there's a fence. See the fence right here? These cops couldn't get to this. This is all fucking fenced in. All around here. Wow. All right, let's watch it again in slow-mo. There's 2 people in custody. I don't know. Some of these people still look oblivious to what's going on. These guys, look at, what are they filming? Look at these 2 guys, or these 2 people. Look, what are they filming? They're filming the opposite direction. What's going on over there? Oh, they could be. Maybe they're undercover. No, because afterwards they're like, we tackled them. We got them. They were just fans. Thank you, 100 people. I'll check it out in just a sec. Thank you so much. They said there's 2 in custody, 9 injured. Green underwear guy. I know. Look at him. He's a power horse. He's got him pinned down. Both those guys. The guy in the red shoes. The guy in the red shoes almost looks like he might be a cop. The other guy, we saw them walking. He was all in red, like a red jumpsuit. She picked up the gun. When they tackled him, a gun went flying. Yes, she picked it up because she didn't want him to get free and get it again. They took it from him. Dude, they are so lucky. Let's see the other one.
Joker has it all. The gun is over here. Oh, he's up there. You got it? No. Oh, we tackled him. We tackled him. Yeah. When we tackle him, the gun came out. We're good. Who's the other guy? Back up. Hey, I got the gun. Hey, I got the gun. You filming this? Yeah. Who was the other guy that helped me?
I don't know. I think he took off already.
He said, "Who's that guy that helped me?" And he goes, "I don't know. He took off already." Or she goes, "I don't know. He took off already." I don't know if there's going to be a shooting during this, guys. I cannot tell you what we're going to see. So proceed at your own caution. Whoops. Damn it.
Inside the Union Station?
We're getting information now. We're worried about this right now as we speak. We're not exactly sure what's happening. I'm being told that there is a police. We know there's a police presence. The police have acted. We don't.
Chandler, I'm gonna get the file. Cropped it on the inside the Union Station?
We're getting information now. We're worried about this right now as we speak. We're not exactly sure what's happening. I'm being told that there is a police. We know there's a police presence. The police have acted. We don't.
Chandler, I'm gonna get the file.
Yeah, one person passed away, 9 are injured. We don't really know much more than that. Let's see if there's any other feeds. There's the tackle. Full speed. Dude, the cops are just standing there. And these ones came over. Wow. Chaos. Utter chaos. Let's go back in this and see. Hold on a second. I want to see that guy in the red again.
Ambulance is at the scene. Another ambulance is arriving here. And I know that momentarily we're going to hear from the Kansas City Police Department and get more details on the situation here. Let me.
Todd, right behind you, an ambulance is coming. So, yeah, I mean, that is the situation. And Bria and Chris, I know our newsroom is working, tirelessly to try and get updated information so we can let people know, the absolute latest as to who is in custody and, the people who are being treated. We know that one person has died in all of this. Oh, okay, let's go to Matt Evans, who's now on the scene. Matt, what can you tell us?
Hey, Todd.
Uh-oh. We lost Matt. We lost Matt's audio. Poor Matt.
That's what we've seen here. Right now, obviously, we've been here for, seems like a couple
No, the
hours
cops
at this
had
point,
someone
where
in
police
red.
were kind of leading everybody out from Pershing, from
I'll show you. We go back in time. They're walking a suspect that's in red.
Oh, yeah?
He's in like all red.
Oh, there's no doubt it could take a while.
Head to toe red.
because all of that may give you a
Right here.
picture rather quickly. In other words, if the cameras tell you that it's one group confronts another, one pushes the other, folks pull out guns.
It's this guy right here in the red. Red pants, red shirt. That's as best as I can get him. Old boy's in cuffs. Yeah, he is. He's wearing all red. He's right there.
That sort of gives you the flavor of what you might have, versus somebody who walks up behind a group or walks into a crowd and just starts shooting anyone that's near them. That's probably a different type of event or person. But the combination of those, because witnesses can be extremely helpful. I get that people can be unreliable as to what they tell you at a scene, but I'll tell you dozens of scenes where I have been where there are a lot of people, pieces of information end up being accurate. If you can link it to the video and you can link it to information that they may already potentially have on the two would-be shooters, you may have a picture. You want a picture quickly, obviously, to your earlier point of, is this just an interaction inside Union Station, or is there something more to it than that?
Going to keep following it for sure. If you're just tuning in, once again, you're looking at live pictures there from Kansas City, where the parade was taking place. Thousands of people flooding the streets to celebrate their Super Bowl champs. Patrick Mahomes was seen holding the Super Bowl trophy. Members of the team there. There was a performance taking place on a stage, and then gunfire broke out. We know that, at least according to our ABC station there, 2 people were being worked on, one of whom right there where the police tape has marked off that area. We did see one person being transported to an ambulance, and now 2 people are detained. We're trying to figure out why this happened, who was involved, how those...
So the shooting happened right there in that fenced-in area, and then we have this guy sitting on the edge.
Right after a quick break. Stay with us.
What's he doing?
Whenever news...
Did you see that? Are they
The police
taking a
tape
picture
has
of
marked
him?
off that area. We did see one person being transported to an ambulance, and now 2 people are detained. We're trying to figure out why this happened, who was involved, how those victims are faring. We're going to work every angle to this story and bring you the latest details right after a quick break. Stay with us.
They're taking a picture, and look how he's leaning to the side. Thank you for tagging me again. Oh, shit. There he is.
Get out the street!
Oh my God!
Why is he walking like that?
Get out the street!
Wow.
Oh my God!
Get out the street!
Oh my God!
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
FBI is here.
That is awful. This is crazy. Have we seen this one?
No.
Oh, we tackled him.
We tackled him. Yeah.
When we tackled him, the gun came out.
He said when we tackled him, the gun flew out or whatever. There's two guys. This is one guy, and then you see the guy in the red is the other guy.
You're good. Who's the other guy? Back up.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything we haven't seen yet. This is how I scroll Twitter. I don't. Oh, look, he's got it circled. See, the media's on it. They were all over him. Oh, shit. That was when it happened. He's confused. He's like, was that shots?
Guys. Something's going on. Something's going on, guys.
Oh my God. Did you hear it? People are always stunned at first. Look at, he's smiling. He's smiling. He's enjoying the parade. He's reporting on the parade. And then all of a sudden, shots ring out. Oh, there's more than two. There's several. Listen close. It sounded like fireworks. God, now you hear the Beastie Boys.
Guys. Something's going on. Something's going on, guys.
There was like 13 shots. Listen again. There's like 13 shots, y'all. Here. He knows something ain't right, but he doesn't want to say it. Yeah, people are afraid to assume the worst. Now the people start and run towards them.
Guys. Something's going on. Something's going on, guys.
That is chilling. So there was a lot of kids there too, because I guess school was out today. Okay, so, let's go back to YouTube. Let's get the latest.
Seek information, and those families have been taken away now. They've been working with staff and trying to figure out the latest on how their family members are doing. But it's just been a really difficult day here in Kansas City, and a lot of people are just trying to figure out what to do next and trying to figure out where we go from here. But we know the staff here at Truman Medical Center is working very hard to make sure all of the people that
Here's the AP. I had them on before. This is the aftermath. This is right now. Let's see. This is the AP right now. Let's go back in time and see. See, the AP didn't start until after. It was already done. Oh, what is there? Channel live? There's a press conference right now, guys. K, what? Which one is it? KMBC. KM. Got it. Thank you. We got a press conference, guys.
For the safety of everyone. For the safety of everyone. I've talked to a few different folks so far. One, we have spoken to the Kansas City Chiefs, who made clear that their prayers are with everyone who was at the parade today, everyone in Kansas City, and everyone who was touched by this incident. They also noted that their players, coaches, and staff are all accounted for at this point and safe. We, however, note that this is a fluid situation, so all that we are sharing now may change as the hours go ahead. We've also received a call from the White House that offered all federal assistance in the investigation. We had federal agencies present today. We appreciate that, and certainly in the days ahead and the hours ahead, we will make sure we continue to do this work. I will say personally, first, a thank you to the women and men of law enforcement, to the women and men who work with the Kansas City Fire Department and our other agencies. When the shooting started, I, like many others, ran for safety. I saw a number of agencies, including the Kansas City Police Department, officers with guns drawn who were running towards danger. We thank them for that. As I was leaving the scene, I saw members of our Kansas City Fire Department administering aid to folks who are seriously injured without concern
This is the
for
mayor.
the shootings and the challenges that were near them. This is absolutely a tragedy, the likes of which we would have never expected in Kansas City, and the likes of which we will remember for some time. However, I want to say thank you to those who are making sure that we are safe today, those who are investigating this incident, and those who will continue to make sure that those who committed these acts today are brought to justice. We'll come back for some questions at the end of the Chief's comments, but now the Police Chief, Stacey Graves.
Chief Stacey Graves, Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. At the conclusion of the Chiefs rally today, there were shots fired on the west side of Union Station. Immediately, officers responded to the area, took 2 people into custody, and also immediately rendered life-sustaining aid to those victims. We're still gathering information on the number and the status of victims. But like I said, we know that one of the victims is deceased. We also know that officers ran towards danger. Officers were there to keep everyone safe. I'm angry at what happened today. The people who came to this celebration should expect a safe environment. We had over 800 law enforcement officers, Kansas City and other agencies, at the location to keep everyone safe. Because of bad actors, which were very few, this tragedy occurred, even in the presence of uniformed law enforcement officers, who again ran towards them and took them into custody. To the people who were injured in this tragedy, our hearts go out to you and your families. This investigation is just beginning, and we are working safely to clear all surrounding areas and businesses. This is still an active investigation. We will continue to keep you updated. We will keep you updated on Twitter and most likely a follow-up press availability. Did you have anything?
Are you saying one of the shooters is dead?
No. One of our victims has been declared deceased. We have up to 10 to 15 injured. By, yes. Right now, we do not have an exact number of people who were victims of a gunshot wound. It could be upwards from 10 to 15 with one deceased.
Do you know how many are in critical condition at this point?
I do not have conditions on our victims just yet.
Any believed to be children?
I do not believe that any of them were children.
Any law enforcement injured in this? First responders?
Nothing of note.
Chief, what prompted, what do you guys believe now prompted the shooting?
That is still under investigation. I myself was outside when I heard the shots fired. It is an ongoing investigation. It's going to take us a little bit to determine exactly what led up to the shooting. I will say, though, we do have 2 suspects in custody.
I have a question for you.
Circulating on social media that some fans may have helped to detain one of those.
I have heard that as well. I have heard that fans got involved in the apprehension or the pursuit of one of the suspects. I cannot confirm that right now, but that is something that I have heard myself.
Can you
Yes.
talk about the response time? Because you say 10 to 15 possibly injured in the shooting. There was 800 officers there. This happened pretty quickly. So can you talk about when this started, sort of a timeline from there to the point where your officers responded to the point where you had KCFD helping to
Absolutely.
render first aid?
As soon as the rally concluded, there were shots fired on the west side of Union Station. Officers were on scene in the area. I know one of the suspects was immediately pursued on foot. Like I said, there's 2 suspects in custody. I have heard the information that was just requested. I will confirm or deny that. But after that, immediately officers began rendering life-sustaining aid, calling in fire, which is the fire department, to also assist victims.
Do you know if there were more than 2 people taken into custody? Because we had 2 people, after you guys had made your announcement, there were 2 people in custody, 2 people live on our air being taken, handcuffed, put into vans. So can you tell us about that and the process as this investigation continues?
I don't know exactly the 2 that you're talking about that your camera caught on video being loaded into a wagon. I don't know that, but I can tell you that in and around that scene, it is still active. Not active in necessarily threats, but it's a very active scene. We're still investigating. This is still early on. We still have parties that are walking into hospitals.
Chief Graves, do you know anything about the suspects in terms of where they're from? Are they from Kansas City?
I do not know that, but that's something that I also will be finding out.
2 questions. We were hearing upwards of maybe 20 shots. Can you talk about the number that you heard while you were
I'm
there?
hearing 10 to 15, possibly 15, with the one that is deceased.
And do you know anything about the timing? It seems odd if it's waited to the very end of the rally.
I don't have anything about, I can't give you an answer on the timing. I can just say that that's when it occurred, and we are investigating what led up to that. Maybe once we get some of those details, we'll know why that happened at that time, but right now it's still too new.
Chief, was it just one incident or multiple incidents that injured multiple?
That is something that is under investigation.
Mayor Quinton Lucas, you talked about how you were on the ground and you yourself had to run for safety. And I understand we're still waiting on a timeline and trying to understand what exactly happened. But we were having a Super Bowl parade, and this is what the country is talking about now. What is your message to this city at a time like this?
I second the comments by the chief of police. I'm heartbroken.
There's
First
the
of all,
guy
I'm
in the
praying
red.
for the victims and the families impacted. I start with them. I'm incredibly upset, disappointed. I was there with my wife. I was there with my mother. We never would have thought that we, along with Chiefs players, along with fans, hundreds of thousands of people, would be forced to run for our safety today. I think that I'll let the investigation shake out before coming to any further conclusions, but I think the initial response absolutely is anger. You know, we have done a number of these now, and this is a day that a lot of people look forward to, something they remember for a lifetime. And what they shouldn't have to remember is the threat of gun violence, marring a day like this, injuring them and their families. This morning, I was actually thinking about bringing my child, as many people in Kansas City did. And I don't want us to have to, in our country, for every big event, think about a concern of being shot. As the chief noted, we had a lot of law enforcement officers there today. They did exceptional and outstanding work, and I will second that again. Because on your timeline point, I was inside of Union Station. We heard something. A number of us start running, and I see a stream of officers going the exact other direction, in with guns drawn, ready to address danger. And that was the situation throughout. People who responded absolutely immediately. But I wish that we lived in a world where they wouldn't have to do that. I wish we live in a world where we wouldn't have to see incidents like that. But I'm as heartbroken as anybody. We will do a full and thorough investigation. I hope that we bring whoever this is to justice, and we will continue to try to make sure that we can be as safe as possible. However, when you have people who decide to bring guns to events, when you have people who are deciding to try to mar events, celebratory ones like this one, all of us start to become members of this club that none of us want to be a part of, which is those who have experienced mass shootings. I hope for Kansas City this is one of the last times we experienced that.
This is the question for
players in any danger at any point?
What's that? Sorry, I'm going.
In danger at any point?
Was I in danger?
No, any of the players, the Chiefs players.
You know what? I think we'll let the
shooting,
investigation
everyone's
take a
in
look at that. The police department responded effectively, I think incredibly quickly, to make sure that people would be out of harm's way. That being said, a number of us had to flee from a situation because we heard a sound of gunshots. So I'll let you answer your own question in terms of whether you think that's something that puts you in danger or not. In my view, anytime shots are nearby, you don't know where they're coming from, you don't know who's firing them and all of that, then perhaps there is a situation of danger.
This is a question for fire.
Thank you guys.
Can
We're gonna get back inside.
Can I ask a fire question?
Of the 10 to 15 injured that you say, are all of those gunshots? I want to know, and do you have a sense of how many, or are some of those also critical in injury?
We've covered that. We don't have that information.
I just have a fire question about
Hold
how
on.
it's
10 to
handled.
15 is what we have, potentially 15. One deceased. I don't have a condition on the other gunshot victims.
Those are all gunshots, though.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
We don't know how many are critical.
One fire question,
I do not.
because Chief Graves said there were
We're going to
no
have a
children
lot of
injured.
updates later, guys.
Okay.
We got to go inside and gather this information. I appreciate it.
Where are the updates, Jake, later?
Well, just look on Twitter.
I just have one. I just have one. I just have one.
Sure. You
I
guys
just
keep
have.
us updated on Twitter.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I just have one thing to say. This is not Kansas City. I'm angered by what happened, but I want you to know that the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department and all the law enforcement officers that were there today, that were serving and protecting, did the best that they could, and I'm so proud of them that they ran into danger, getting 2 people into custody, and at the same time rendering life-sustaining aid to those victims. We were here for a safe celebration, and because of 2 bad actors or more, it is why we're standing here today. We will recover as a city. My heart goes out to our victim who is deceased, but your police department stands ready, and we are invested in the safety and betterment of Kansas City. Thank
so
you.
there may be possibly more than 2 actors?
We'll
Yeah,
send you
there's
guys more
other
updates on
suspects?
Twitter, okay? Follow the Twitter account, and we'll
All
put the
right.
updates that we have on
Police
Twitter. We'll
Chief
update you
Stacey
guys.
Graves and Kansas City, Missouri Mayor Quentin Lucas on the steps of police headquarters downtown. And some of the headlines here. Police Chief Stacey Graves, I am angry over what happened today. This is not Kansas City.
Whew. Here's some witnesses.
She used to be from Kansas City, came from the parade. Here's what happened. Right. I just came across a couple folks who were actually visiting Kansas City just for the parade, and they were just about to catch a ride home, and I could see the fear on their face. Tell us what happened.
So the parade had just wrapped up, and we had brought an Uber. We took an Uber so that we wouldn't have to park. We're from Kansas City, but we flew in yesterday from New Hampshire just for the parade, and we were headed back to the direction where the Uber had dropped us off when all of a sudden people started crushing forward. Everybody started running. There was screaming. We didn't know what was happening, but this day and age when people run, you run. And so I put my arms around her and we tried to push through.
Look at her little girl. I'm only here for Taylor Swift. And doesn't that piss you off that now they've brought this whole new group of people? Like I said, my 23-year-old daughter watched the freaking game. She doesn't watch games. But her daughter definitely. Look at, I'm here for Taylor.
People wouldn't run on top of us, and there was a
Sucks.
woman crying, saying something about somebody had been shot. Of course, it's hard to know, is it a singular incident or is there an active shooter? But we got pushed all the way up to Union Station where they had gated everything off so you couldn't get in for the Chiefs, and everybody started jumping the rails and pushing everybody over. We got inside and we thought that, okay, it's calm now. We're inside, we'll be safe. And we had moved down the stairs so we could exit back out. And I told my daughter, let's just sit down for a minute in here and breathe because we don't have a car. We don't even know where to go. And about that time, people started running again. And some girls were saying there was shooting. And she said she had it, which doesn't make sense. But she said she had a hole in her pants from it, and that was terrifying. So we ran into a hallway, and a janitor said, come into this area. We went where an elevator was. We shut the doors and sat back against the doors, and we prayed, and there was yelling. And I didn't know if it was safe to leave, or so we tried to block the doors, and then we heard the elevator start to move. So we opened the doors and ran out, and we went through a side door, and there were officers. I've never been so glad to see an officer in my life. And they told you to try to get to a safe place?
Yes,
They actually brought us to a safe place. They said, we're trying to see what's going on. We don't want you to leave here. Go across the street. We're gathering a group of people. So they made us stay there for a period of time. There were easily 35 officers surrounding the perimeter. And then when they said an area was clear, they ushered us up from the downstairs, the belly of Union Station, and over to where the buses were. And then the officers... I'm so glad you both made it out safe. I could tell by the look on your face that you were very flustered, but we're so glad that you made it out safe and make it safe home. All right.
I sure as hell wouldn't be hanging around. I'd be out of there.
You know, and thankfully they did. You know, immediately when we turned around, we saw the law enforcement officers, Kansas City police officers, running as fast as they could toward what had happened and where those shots had been fired. And you know, it was just a crazy.
They don't have rewind.
To the rally, we've got a little bit of breaking news that we need to share with you. We do have reports of a possible shooting that has happened not too far from where we're sitting right now. We did see a number of police officers run over to where we think this is happening. We do not have anything confirmed at this point, but it's kind of rattled security who's around us and rattled a lot of people who are in that area. So we're trying to get to the bottom of what has happened.
And the music is so loud, like it would be so overwhelming.
Do you see any?
It's something we are keeping an eye on. We did see a police presence kind of rush to a scene, and it's, you know,
I'm probably going to get struck for this music.
It's actually very difficult to kind of tell exactly what's happening because people are trying to leave the area as the rally wrapped up. Of course, there are hundreds of thousands of people down here, so many people just going in different directions. We didn't hear anything from where we were. We just saw a very heavy police presence rush to a scene right now. And, yeah, I mean, right now it looks like people are still able to freely move and vacate the area, which hopefully that means it's good news that it's under control. But it's something obviously that we'll be keeping an eye on here outside Union Station here as the Chiefs rally wrapped up. Switching gears right now to the rally.
That's it? That was their report? They didn't hear shit. Half the crowd probably didn't even know. Unbelievable, guys.
Immediately, she said there was yelling and screaming, children's in the vicinity not knowing what to do, looking around, and obviously parents screaming, worried about their kids. And she now was asking officers if they could give her a ride home because one of her friends was among those taken to the hospital and she can't get an update on him. So obviously there are still folks here in the area who, not physically injured themselves, were very much emotionally scarred and continue to be emotionally scarred by what was going on. One more ancillary update. some of the folks here that were working the events for Fox Sports told me that their gear, a lot of it obviously is still inside because they had to evacuate immediately, and they've been told that they can't even think about going back in to get any of it until tomorrow. So obviously there's a lot of investigating still to be done and a lot of remaining questions on many levels here just outside the facility. Guys?
Absolutely harrowing.
When they got that moment that there was a shooting, why didn't they turn off that music? Why wouldn't they turn off that music so everyone would be notified? I mean, first of all, if there's an active shooter at an event I'm at, turn the music off and let me know. Unbelievable. This kind of shit doesn't even happen at parades in Detroit. It doesn't. It happens in the hood of Detroit. But parades in Detroit go on all the time. And this is in the broad ass daylight. There ain't no broad ass daylight shootings of civilians in downtown Detroit. It doesn't happen very often. It happens in the hoods, but not, I mean, seriously, in Detroit, it's 3 arenas right in the same vicinity. And this doesn't happen. I don't do big crowds either, Queen. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been a long day. We really came back on because I screwed up my stream from Harmony and then that day ended. So I wanted to update on this. I'm going to go chapter today's trial. So you guys, if you haven't seen it, you can go back and replay the different sections that you want to play. So I'm out. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I'll see you guys in the morning at 8:45. Let's roll our credit. And have a good night. I'll see you at 7 o'clock in Discord for our Valen Crimes documentary. It's going to be spooky.
Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun, old-fashioned family Christmas. No, no, we're all in this together.
I don't give a damn. Stand up. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough.
Why are
about
people
you and
such
your problems.
idiots?
I don't give a damn.
God almighty.
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time.
Is it one Jennifer or two Jennifers? Thanks so much, Jennifer.
It's in the water. What the